Andrew's in Paddington. Andrew.
Tom, you're clearly not an animal lover.
Oh, God's
and you
sake.
don't oh God me, as you usually do. And secondly, you haven't got your facts right. Some of the flights are leaving Afghanistan half empty. And therefore, the animals that have been... I spoke this morning to Nawzad Charity.
Right.
The animals all have clearance.
Great.
And their being evacuated is in no way taking up space that would be used for people, because quite a lot of the flights are leaving Afghanistan practically empty.
Well,
so get your facts right for once.
Sir, the plane is not taking up... the people are not being kicked off the charter flight to get the animals because the plane is specifically for Penfarthing, his staff and the animals. That's why it's being chartered. So let's agree on what the facts are. The point that Ben... Oh, has he hung up? Oh, he's gone. Right, this is getting really touchy here. For clarity, let me read you what Ben Wallace is reported to have told MPs tonight regarding the British military resource, which Ben Wallace claims, that I don't know, Ben Wallace claims has been diverted, to what extent, fought for, don't know, to help get animals out of Afghanistan on this plane alongside Penfarthing and his vets, who of course should be getting out. Absolutely heaven and earth should be moved to get these people out. Ben Wallace has told MPs, what I can tell you, and it is a bit upsetting, is that I have soldiers on the ground who have been diverted from saving those people because of inaccurate stories, inaccurate lobbying that have diverted that resource. That is not something that I would be proud of, and I've been very straight and consistent throughout. Later on, he says, as I've said consistently, it's not about the planes on the tarmac, it's about the flow through the gates to get airside. And it's simply, if the plane flew in yesterday, it would have sat there empty because no one would have been able to get to it. That seems to be the issue of getting people airside to be able to process them, to get them on the planes. If you are trying to get as many people as you possibly can, weeding out from the thousands who are descending on Kabul airport, those who can, those who can't, and those who might have a claim, with children being passed to soldiers, the threat of terrorism, and now alongside that you're diverting that resource to bring in a load of animals through that crowd somehow. Ben Wallace's suggestion is he doesn't think that's a good use of resource. Lorraine's in Manningtree in Essex. Lorraine.
Oh, good evening. I actually just wanted to point out, I've only just joined your programme, but I wanted to point out what other people may have said earlier, that Penn is actually using a privately chartered commercial airliner.
Yeah.
People have probably already said that to you.
Yes.
And it's been paid for by well-wishers. He has every right to get out with his staff and get the animals out as well. He comes from the town next to where we live, so we feel quite strongly about this anyway. We love animals. That guy is an absolute hero.
Of course he is.
He really is, isn't he? And he just wants to get the animals out. I can't blame him. Otherwise, they've all got to be put to sleep, because no doubt they will have their throats slit otherwise, Halal style, if the Taliban get to them, if Penn has to go and leave them. And he would rather put them all to sleep than have that happen.
Dogs.
The government, I wouldn't spit on them if they were on fire. They're the hunting, shooting, fishing brigade, so they don't give a damn about animals anyway.
He's got dogs and cats, right?
Yes, yeah.
So it can't be. They're not going to eat the dogs and cats.
They're not, but they're basically, cave age people, aren't they?
I'm not a
they
fan of
haven't
the
got
Taliban either, Lorraine.
They really, really haven't got a shred of sympathy or thought for anybody or any animal. They're just, but they...
You're happy, Lorraine, that, again, as the Defence Secretary is saying tonight, British military resource is being used, is going to be taken up by getting animals onto a chartered plane paid for by the public with these brilliant, fantastic people who are going to be on that plane as well. You're happy that British military resource is being used to help that in some small way, rather than that resource being used to help get people from outside the airport who have a claim to be inside the airport in.
But he's going to... There's only him and 69 members of staff, and I think 250 seats on the plane, so he will be bringing other people out with him.
And the animals. That's the point, isn't it?
And
the animals as well.
It's not going to take that long to load all the animals up on the... But again, I come back to... No, I understand that, but I come back to the point. If that demand to get the animals in the plane involves, and the Defence Secretary saying will involve the assistance of the military, is that a good use of military time and resource at this moment in the crisis to help get 250 dogs and cats into the cargo hold of a private plane? It's not going to take that long, and it won't just be them. Penn and the staff, he's got trained vets, they will have those animals on board that airliner in no time. And
getting them through the airport, again, if the military resources required to...
Yeah, I think this is going to be the biggest problem, isn't it? Actually getting them through the crowd and through the airport and onto the plane. But once they're there, it won't take them long to get on the plane and get the hell out of there.
And forgive me, but you think it is right for 250 dogs and cats and donkeys to be prioritised to get through the throng of people using British military resource, however long that takes, rather than that resource being used to getting the people through that throng?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I do feel that way. I really do. I'm sorry, other people listening might not agree, and you may not agree, but honestly, that's how I feel, because they deserve to live the same as the humans, if you like.
You're joking. You've got families passing their children to soldiers to get them out of the country.
I know.
And I've got a dog, I've got 2 cats, they're fantastic. But with the finite resource and the time running out, to think that the animals have to get on as much as the people have to get on, I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I still feel the same way. They haven't got a voice. They haven't got a voice before Penn stood up for them and helped them.
What, the donkeys?
He is just an absolute hero to me.
Lorraine, I appreciate the call. Queenie's in Catford. Hi, Queenie.
God, hello, hi.
Hi.
Are you going to pick me against?
No. I just feel like I need Fred as a sounding board here because I'm slightly losing my mind. Is that all right? I mean, I don't want to pit you against anybody.
It's not. I don't really want to have an argument with another person.
I don't want to have an argument.
I'm a first-time caller and I'm feeling quite nervous.
Please don't be nervous.
However, I completely agree with the lady before who said the animals have every right to come on that plane and be brought to safety, okay? And it's not a black and white situation. It's not either this or this is a one-off scenario, okay? It's like one charity with all these animals and quite a lot of people, okay? And lots of people donated because if it wasn't for the people who didn't donated, there wouldn't even be those 67 people able to travel on that flight.
Yes. That's but do we stop at these animals? I mean, if we say animals have a right to be on those planes, why stop at these cats and dogs?
Of course, you're not going to scour the whole land to get every single animal. But this is one person who has contributed greatly, first of all, to the whole conflict in the Afghanistan war and everything. And then it's his life's work.
Okay.
And he didn't even ask for a handout. He organised everything himself. All the animal lovers paid.
What he can't organise is for, under his own steam, getting his staff and the animals to Kabul airport, getting them through all the security checks, getting them through the throng of people onto the tarmac, into the plane, without the help of British military.
Well, whether he can or whether he can't. I mean, that is whether he's going to be able to. But personally, I agree. And you can't, you're so dismissive by saying, oh, it's just cats and dogs and donkeys. I mean, that is completely unfair. A life is a life. And some people say they're animal lovers. Some people say they're animal lovers, but yet they still think like a human life is more important than an animal's life. I don't feel that way.
Well, I find that extraordinary. I do think a human life is worth more than an animal life.
I don't.
That's why why we're trying to get people out of Afghanistan, out of Kabul, who would otherwise have their throats slit by the Taliban, rather than a cat.
A life is a life, and I do not put a human life above an animal's life. I adore animals. Animals have saved me many, many, many times where humans have let me down, and I would never sacrifice my animals. Let those animals come here. They have every right, and we have to look after them. And there was something else I wanted to say, actually, but I can't actually remember.
I'll let you think about it, Queenie, because I really, you've done a great job, by the way, as a first-time caller. You no need to be nervous.
But I feel so strongly about this.
I know you do.
I love the animals, and bring those animals home.
Can I just say...
I wanted to say as well, can I say one other thing? I wanted to say, all those people that have actually come on those planes and been brought to safety, you cannot tell me that all of those people were all the people who were working with the forces. They weren't all the interpreters and everybody else. A lot of those people are just like ordinary people that have managed to come to safety. Is that correct?
Well, so what?
No, because people are still saying, we have to bring the interpreters. Of course we have to do it. Well, of course we do. But are you telling me that all those thousands and thousands of people are all still the interpreters and the people who worked with the forces?
Some of them are, yes. Thanks, Fred.
Not all of them.
Well, Queenie, what's your point? Are you saying, well, if they're not an interpreter, let's get a dog on?
Do you want the honest answer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fred, help.
I wouldn't unintentionally... Listen, when I saw these pictures of those two little kids crying, it broke my heart, and I wanted to go to Afghanistan, and I wanted to get them, and I wanted to bring them back to safety, okay?
Fred.
When I saw those two little kids that got left behind, I wanted to bring them back.
Oh, Queenie,
however, if you're telling me...
It's absolutely ludicrous. Right, Fred, go ahead. Queenie, you've had a good go.
Queenie, we would love to bring every animal back that is in danger in Afghanistan, along with all of the persons. The French ambassador, the British ambassador stayed in Afghanistan to passport and get as many people through the gate as they can. The sad fact is the Taliban have cut off lots of local access to roads to the airport, and there is already queues of thousands of people trying to get out of Kabul airport. To put into the mix hundreds more animals is just going to make that a very volatile situation. And there is no guarantee that when the Taliban take over on midnight of the 31st of August, that they're going to suddenly start slaughtering these animals. Whereas there is pretty much a very good guarantee they are going to start taking retaliation on interpreters and staff that have helped at these embassies and bases for the British and the UK forces in the last 20 years. That's already been seen. And it is a really bad situation that we've been put in by the United States and Joe Biden. I hold him quite personally responsible for this.
And Trump. Well, listen, Fred, I'm glad you were there as a sounding board because, of course, you're absolutely right. Queenie, I appreciate your bravery in coming on. I appreciate the emotion in your argument and your genuinely held feeling that animals have just as much of a right to be evacuated as the children who are waiting to come out of Afghanistan because they fear they're going to be killed. But I think you are completely misguided. Actually, to be honest with you, Queenie, and thank you for your call, worryingly misguided. Lisa's in Derby. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Tom. Bear with me, first-time caller, so
welcome.
A bit nervous.
No, you're welcome.
I think you're asking the wrong question, really, because this could have been sorted out a week ago. This needn't have been left to the last minute. All that was needed was one bit of paper, and for some reason, Ben Wallace seems to have a problem with pen. I don't know why, but I say it was just one bit of paper that's been needed for days and days and days, and they've had all the animals ready to go. They've got
Lisa,
everything set up.
the question still remains about the use of British military time and resource a week ago as it does tonight. Why should... You've just heard a man come on the radio and say his wife and children are desperately trying to get out of Kabul. They're British passport holders. They deserve to be able to get on a plane, and they're not going to be able to because the throng of people there is so great. And there will be, and again, I don't know whether it's going to be 5 minutes or 50. In a way, it doesn't matter. Some resource
Exactly. In a way, it doesn't matter, does it? Because if it's 5 minutes,
no, it should be no minutes.
I have heard this gentleman ring up a few times this week.
It should be no minutes. No minutes of British military resource should be spent trying to get 250 cats and dogs on a plane.
There isn't 250, and there's no donkeys, so please stop going on about the donkeys. The donkeys are remaining there. The donkeys are less likely to be killed.
160 dogs, 40 cats.
Yeah.
Right, so 200 dogs and cats. I tell you
donkeys. So
no donkeys, whatever.
Stop mentioning donkeys.
But Lisa, no, do you know what? It's making me really angry this now. We should not be having a disagreement about this. How can you possibly
I'm not having a disagreement. All I'm saying is that this should have been sorted out a week ago.
Fine,
and then you
but that's arguing with the world as you'd like it to be rather than the world as it is. As it is, British military resource is going to have to be used to get 200 cats and dogs on a plane.
Right, okay. So, are you saying that Penn Farthing shouldn't go on a plane? Are you saying that his female Afghan vet shouldn't go on a plane?
I'm saying
are you saying that the extra 250 humans that they're taking with them shouldn't be on that plane? Are you saying the military shouldn't be diverted to help them?
Nope, not saying that at all. And that is a complete misrepresentation of the point that I was making. Of course...
but you're turning it around. The point I'm making is that plane will be full of people that have the right to be on that plane.
And cats and dogs.
But the military will be diverted. The military will be diverted to get those people out. So you saying those people don't deserve to get out?
No, but why are you suggesting that military resource should be used to get cats and dogs out when there are people waiting outside Kabul airport who would like to get on a plane as well, please?
I'm saying that those people on that plane deserve to get out.
I agree.
Now, whether there's animals in the cargo or not, those people deserve to get out.
But
and if you
are
masking
the issue. You're masking the issue. The issue is not the people.
Well, so are you.
No,
You're saying that those people don't deserve to get out.
No, I've never suggested that. Completely
wrong.
You
are. You're just suggesting it now.
Lisa, thank you. I honestly don't know what to do. It's like people hear what they want to. you until I'm blue in the face. Oh, we're going to fall out over this. Evelina, Tom, you're making me very angry. If British military resource is funded by my taxes, I want my taxes to help the animals before the humans. Terry's in Bridgend. Terry?
Hey, Tom. How's it going?
Yeah. You?
Yeah, not bad. I mean, I like you. You're a good guy. I've listened to your show for, a long time.
Oh, great man.
And you're, one of my favourite presenters, to be honest. But I think here we do differ in, sort of, I guess. I spoke to your producer or the guy who lets me speak to you.
Yeah. The gatekeeper.
And basically, I said to him, if it's my dog versus your kid, then it's my dog all day. Do you know what I mean?
So if it's your dog over my child, you would pick your dog?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, there are reasons for that. As in, my dog personally saved my life. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, regardless of the human-animal debate...
Quickly, Terry, I'm going to be taken down a path that I didn't necessarily imagine I'd go down tonight, but can you briefly tell us the story of how your dog saved your life?
Yeah, well, it's quite simple. After a messy breakup, I'm not going to go into those details,
okay,
but after a messy breakup and me having to give up the dogs I had previously, which were part of my family, I got my dog now, Seren. And if it wasn't for her, and the fact that I needed to be there for her, and kind of feed her and, all that stuff, then, after that kind of breakup, it would have been the end of it.
So your dog is more important to you than my child is to you?
Yeah, my dog is more important. My dog is more important to me than your child is to me. Yeah.
That's not a surprise.
And my dog is more important to me than any other human on the planet is to me.
But Terry, if it was a choice between, for me, if it was a choice between your dog and my dog, I'd pick my dog.
Yeah, sure, of course you would. And if
but
it was,
I don't understand
obviously without even going into it, if it was a choice between a child you have or don't have, I'm not sure if you have children, Tom.
I do.
But yeah, so if it was a choice between your child and my dog, then of course you pick your child.
It's obviously no choice. But Terry, we're not asking about your dog. I can see why you like your dog and think the world of your dog.
You don't understand. You don't even know the half of it.
Okay,
let's be honest.
But do you think the life of a dog of a dog in Afghanistan is currently more important, deserving of military time and effort to get them onto the plane than the life of a child that you haven't met yet?
That's kind of an unfair question.
Why? That's the question. That's what the British military resources.
But because of my interactions with humans in general and animals in general, I would generally pick animals first anyway. So
well, listen, Terry, I'm really grateful that you listened to the programme. Thank you so much for your time and thank you for your call tonight. We are going to disagree on this, fundamentally disagree on this. Sarah's in Dartford. Sarah.
Oh, hiya, yeah. Well, I've just got into bed and I put the radio on for like half an hour and I was so enraged I've had to pick up the phone and phone in because I cannot believe the attitude of you and other people that are phoning in who says that your opinion is more valid or more correct than someone else's opinion who differs from you. Now, I pay my taxes, my husband pays his taxes, my daughter pays her taxes, and so, yes, those animals should be coming out because people have donated. That man is a wonderful man and he has got all his helpers and he's got an animal sanctuary. And yes, those animals should be coming out as soon as possible. People have donated and paid for a plane and they're entitled to be on it.
And those families, children who don't get the time to be able to be processed because the British military's time is being used to get the animals out, what about them?
Well, all right then. What about the animals then?
Eh?
What people have paid and donated, and that man is desperately risking his life to get those animals out. So what about him then? If they're saying, oh no, let the children, let the people, let's not keep on about children, let the people, let the adults and all those, we've got to get them on first. Why?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Because they're human beings.
Yeah, and animals have got feelings. Animals have got feelings. They live, they breathe.
The reason why, Sarah, is because...
So why? Who says that you're right and I'm wrong? Who says?
I think
I say animals are just as important as human life, and they should be on a plane as soon as possible, along with that man whose animal sanctuary it is, and the people there that work for him. Yes, they should all be on that. The animals first, and then brought over. They're entitled to it. They've paid for the plane, and they're entitled to it. But
that's the reason. See, that's what I think the reason is, Sarah, is, well, we paid for it, so put payment down. So, therefore, they've got to get on. If we paid for it, it's got to happen. It's like this sort of weird transaction. Well, I've donated money. I do expect the animals to be on the plane, regardless of the children.
And to be on. Why should Afghan people and whoever out there overstep them? They've waited their turn, and they should be allowed to go on.
I can't believe I'm hearing this.
Well, believe it. Because I can't believe how you keep trying to turn it and thingy and twist what everybody's saying. I mean, so the way you've spoken to that, not the lady before, but the lady before that.
I don't believe this.
No, I fully agree.
What have I twisted about your...
You've got a right to come over.
How have I twisted...
that human life is more important than animal life.
Who says that human life is more important? Do you apply that to your own life and your own children, Sarah?
Pardon?
Do you apply that to your own life and your own children? Do you think your animal's life is more important than your own children's life?
No, I didn't say more important. As important.
As important?
As important.
So
my animals' lives are just as important to me as my life.
And your children's?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's to say different? Like that man's just said, he would save his dog before your child.
Oh, God. Okay. Sarah, thank you very much for the call. I'm sorry. Hey, is your...
Quite a few dogs. So, yeah, I would save them before your child. And who's to say that I'm wrong? And who's to say that I'm wrong?
You're wrong. I think you're wrong.
Animal life is not as important as human.
I think you're wrong.
Yeah, and I think you're wrong. And I'm a human, and you're a human. So what makes your opinion more important than mine?
I've not said that it's more important. No one's suggesting it's more important. Sarah, is your blood pressure so high that you're not going to be able to go back to bed now?
I'm very sad about that, because that should have been included as well.
Right.
Very sad.
What's sad? The dogs?
No, the donkey. They've got a donkey. I think it's one donkey. And I thought that was coming over as well. But it seems that that's being left behind. It's only the cats and the dogs. And I'm really sad about that. But they've got as much right to come over and take their turn as anybody else.
I don't know what to do.
Well, we're coming straight back to this.
Well, no, I was going to say, I mean... Can you believe this?
No.